please. All right, so good morning, everyone. My name is Beyonce Lundy, and I am one of the public services librarians here at the South Carolina State Library. And as you can see on the bottom right side of the screen, this is my email information. So if you have any questions for me or any comments or thoughts or if something popped in your mind later, please feel free to email me and I will be able to provide you assistance. So this morning we're going to get into our Discover the South Carolina State Library presentation. And in this presentation, we will be focusing on our Women's History Month resources that we have to offer. All of these resources are available online and they are free to access. And some of these resources may require a library card, but I will get into that later. And so now I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming. So to get started, the first resource we're going to be talking about this morning is our History Reference Center resource. And this resource has full text from over 1,620 reference books. It also includes encyclopedias and nonfiction books. It has more than 150 leading history periodicals, and it has nearly 57,000 historical documents. This resource has more than 78,000 biographies of historical figures and more than 113,000 historical photos and maps, and it has more than 80 hours of historical videos. So on the right side of the screen, this is just a simple screenshot that I took of the resource, and as you can see, they are highlighting Women's History Month as well. Here you'll find their A to Z list of resources that they have to offer, and this is what they had under their Women's History tab. So as you can see, they have information highlighting the suffrage movement, the Women's Christian Temperance Union, excuse me, the National Women's Party, the League of Women Voters, World War II, and other key figures in women's history. So this resource is free. I believe it is a part of EBSCO. And in order to gain access to this resource, you may have to have a South Carolina State Library card or the e-card option that we have to offer, and it may ask you for your library card number and your PIN that you set for your account. But aside from that, this resource is free with access to either the e-card or the physical library card. You will be able to view these items as a PDF and you will be able to print them as needed. This is a great resource. You can use it for a lot of other topics pertaining to history, but it has an extensive women's history collection that you can go through and look through and just get lost in. So luckily, they do have the topics separated, so you'll be able to click on one of these and find a number of resources within them. And once again, it is relatively easy to navigate. So I have had no trouble in using this resource. And of course, if you have any questions or if you need help finding something using this resource, either myself or my other colleagues in the reference department, library services department, will be able to assist you. So moving forward, I took some more screenshots of some of the content that they have. So here they have, I clicked on the women in World War II, and here you'll find a topic overview about the women in World War II, and you'll be able to find some more resources if you click on the Read More tab. Here you will find a search result using the phrase women in World War II, and they were able to pull some periodicals and some academic journals. And of course, they have even more results. And they also have a featured content section that includes all of the ebooks that they have to offer on the topic. So some of the key features of this resource is that it includes featured content, a featured content section for related ebooks and titles related to the topic. They also provide citation assistance and a research guide. And this resource is excellent for students in grades 6 through 12, or if you're not in school, this is a great resource to just have on hand if you're doing any research related to women's history or women in the war or women in other political facets. So, although it says it's great for students that may be in 6th to 12th grade, it's also a great resource for adults just doing research in about any topic or theme related to women in history. So, moving forward. Next, we're going to talk about our Study at Sea database that we have to offer. And Study at Sea has a lot of information pertaining to South Carolina. And Study at Sea is broken down and organized by grade level. So I took a screenshot of the homepage of Study at Sea, and you can see here that it has subjects by South Carolina subjects separated by the grade level, and they have elementary school, middle school, and high school. And they also have a great way to navigate this resource is just using the tabs at the top, and those include South Carolina subjects, South Carolina people, South Carolina counties, South Carolina facts, the SC glossary, and the South Carolina Book Awards. So Study SC is a great resource to use when trying to find notable and not so well known people that have contributed to South Carolina culture, history, arts, science, just South Carolina as a whole. So I really do like to use this feature when trying to learn new things about South Carolina and some of the people that may be famous or non famous or not so well known. Just learning more about South Carolina history as a whole. So this is a great way to find out information about people, um, just and it's free. So I don't believe you'll need a username or password to get into this website. It's free. So it's just a great way to learn about anything South Carolina related. And so moving forward, using this resource, I was able to pull some notable women from South Carolina. And using the people's category section, I was able to find some notable women from South Carolina and also a few women that may not be known. And this is a great resource to use when you're trying to discover influential South Carolina women during Women's History Month. And so here, I found an article about Fannie Phelps Adams, and she was an educator and a community leader. I was able to find Maddie Jean Adams, who was also an educator, Etta James, who was a jazz singer, and she was from Aiken, South Carolina. And before I move forward, here on the right side, I took a screenshot of the people category section. And so as you can see, Fannie Phelps Adams fell under the educators tab, Maddie Jean Adams fell under the educators tab, and Etta Jones fell under the musicians tab. So these are this is what you'll see a list of the people. If you click on the categories, you'll find people that fall under this category as far as career or what they did or what they were involved in. So this is just the easy way to navigate the South Carolina Peoples tab. It's an easier way to navigate it and get through everyone because it is a long list. So this just makes it a little bit easier to kind of categorize everybody and just make it easier for users. And so moving forward, I found some more additional notable women using this resource. So Linda Martell, who was a singer, and here you can see her tiny bio. She became the first commercially successful Black female artist in the country music field and the first to play the Grand Ole Opry. And I believe she was also a part of the singer Beyonce's Cowboy Carter album. I believe she has some credits on that album. So that's really cool to learn, especially since she was from South Carolina. That's really cool. Next, we have Eartha Kitt, who was born in North South Carolina, and she was a singer, actress, comedian, dancer, and activist. And another cool note was that she was fluent in multiple different languages, which is really cool. Um, And we also have Julie Roberts, and she is a popular country music singer. And so these were just a few that I pulled, no, for no particular reason, just to show variety. Um, these were some of the women that I also found using Study at Sea. And over here, once you click on their name, this is the page that comes up and it offers a brief or extensive bio. It really just depends. Sometimes it takes a full page or two to get through the whole bio, but for Eartha Kitt, they had a really short and sweet one, which was nice. Um, so here you'll find her picture, her name at the top, her picture, a brief bio, their date of birth and when they may have left this world, or if they're still living, there won't be a date here. And then here you'll find a little caption about the picture. And here is where the real gold is. Oh, I'm sorry, let me go back. Sorry. Here is where the real gold is, and you'll find all of the different resources about the person. And you will also find different Discus resources that may have information about the person as well. So, Study at Sea is a great way to discover people from South Carolina and also discover the different resources that other websites may have to offer or that we have to offer through our Discus program. It's just a great way to learn more about the person, find out where some of this information came from, and just to build a nice bibliography or a nice reference page at the end of your research. So, Study at Sea is a great way or a great platform to learn about someone and then get ready to do a deep search and deep research about the person as well. And so, once again, if I didn't mention it, Study at Sea is a free resource and you will not need a library card number or PIN to access these resources. It is free. And moving forward, now I'm going to talk a little bit about Newsbank. And Newsbank contains articles from over 600 United States and 20 South Carolina newspapers. And these newspapers include the State and the Post and Courier. And some of their research topics include, excuse me, I'm sorry, books and authors, criminal justice, jobs and career, education, life skills. These topics here, these suggested topics here, have different articles that are pulled and curated to fill the theme or the topic listed here. So you would find articles about books and authors. You would find articles about diversity, equity, and inclusion, articles about education. That's what these tabs serve to function as. And this is what you'll find on further down on the page. As soon as you log on to Newsbank, this is what you will see. You will see America's news, historical and current. You'll see all the databases, and of course, you'll see our South Carolina State Library symbol. So at the bottom, well, below that, you'll see a A to Z source list or a session folder, and I believe this just um, has a record of articles you may have seen or different tabs you may have gone to. Um, and then you will be able to do a keyword search using either a name, an event, or a topic. You do have an advanced search option here. You can search for articles using a date, or you can search for articles using like a map, and search for articles using like a geographical location. So this website is very easy to navigate. I forgot to include the other screenshot, but on the side of the page, it will have different topics and you will see the South Carolina newspapers being highlighted. So if you click on South Carolina, it will pull up all of the South Carolina newspapers that Newsbank has to offer. And it's just for easy navigation. If you only want to see South Carolina newspapers, that's just a quicker way to get to it. And so moving forward, some additional research topics include leaders in women's rights, civil rights leaders, and U.S. Supreme Court justices. So the leaders in women's rights, they listed mostly women, but as you can see under these two, they did list some men as well. But the focus is the women today. So bad feelings against the men, but we're only gonna focus on the women. So as you can see, they did list a few women, and if you click on these, um, so for instance, let me just click on one. Okay, well, I'll show you later, but if you click on one, you'll be able to find all of the related articles that they had to offer about these people or articles that mention the person that you clicked on, which is a great way to do research and find out what the news outlets were saying about these people during that time. And to get to this section here, I just clicked on the People tab, and these are a few of the options that they had to list, and I can also show you how to get there at the end. So moving forward, I took a screenshot. So from the last slide, if you were to click on the Susan B. Anthony link that they had to offer, this is what it looked like. And as you can see in the search engine at the top, they had Anthony, more than 100 for the word count, Susan B. Anthony all text. And here you'll see that it pinged 37 search results for Susan B. Anthony. So either articles that were mentioned about her or written about her. These are all the results that were pulled. And as you can see, it came from America's newspapers, and some of these, well, all of these articles range from 1980 to 1989. Oh, I'm sorry, dropped the mouse. And you can also see that here during the date selector, the 1980 to 1989, they sorted these articles by the newest. And here you'll see articles 1 through 20. So the articles are shown 20 articles at a time. You can change that feature if you like. And here you will see Susan B. Anthony coin still costing a mint. And you'll see the date that it was published, the publisher who wrote it, the page, and the lexile or the grade level that the article is written in. And if you click on that, this is what you will find. So you'll find the article. You can either read it yourself or have it read aloud. Here you can change the font. I believe this is where you'll get a citation. You can email it to yourself. You can print it out. You can download it as a PDF, or you can add it to that session folder tab and just save it there if you ever think you're gonna leave and come back, or you just wanna save it so you can find it again. You can add it to your session folder. You can copy the link, or I believe this is how you can share it with other people or just um, save it under your profile if you log in. So this is a very easy to navigate resource. I use it all the time to find information about people. I once used it to find Little League stats when they used to publish it in the newspaper. Um, Overall great resource, and it is free. However, you will need that South Carolina State Library card or e-card in order to log into Newsbank and use the resources. And I can show you how to get to all of these resources at the end. And so I know it was very short, but now I just want to say thank you for viewing the slides. And now I'm actually going to get into a live demo of how to get into the resources. So I am going to escape. Okay, thank you. And I'm going to start over from scratch. So if you were to go to good old Google and go to the state library, you can either Google South Carolina State Library or, oh, I'm sorry, screen sharing is paused. Why is it paused? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I guess I have to start over. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. I think you should be able to see it now. I think. Yep, okay, you can see it. Okay, so if you go to Google and you type in South Carolina State Library, our page will come up and you'll just log onto our website. And so to get to these resources, you will go to South Carolinians, and then you'll go to our Research and Resources tab. And then at the bottom or below, you will go to our Online Resources tab. And here is where you will find our A to Z databases. So if you go to the H's, you will be able to see the history reference source that I was telling you about. And so I'm gonna open it up and just show you. So since I'm here at the library, it's gonna open without much of an issue, but you may need your library card information if you're at home, if you haven't logged in before. And so if I scroll down, here's where you'll find that Women's History tab, and you will also see them highlighting Dorothy Lange. So they do different highlights every month. So I guess this month they're just highlighting Dorothy Lange or Lange, however you pronounce her name. Please forgive me, Dorothy. So if you click on Women's History, here's where you'll find that screenshot I was telling you about. And if I click on, I think I did Women in World War II, here's where you'll be able to find those other screenshots I showed you in the slide. And so if you scroll down, here's your topic overview, here are your search results, and here's your featured content. So if you click on view all results, here's where you'll be able to find articles, ebooks, and reference materials about the topic. So here is an actual book, here is a periodical, here is a peer-reviewed academic journal, and you'll be able to, separate the results and just look based on the item type that it is. And so I am going to go back to all. And I believe the next resource that we looked at was Study SC. And so it'll be under the S's. And if you scroll all the way down, I'm going to open it in a new tab. And let me move my little bar. And here it is. And so here is Study SC. You don't need a library card for this one. This is free to access anywhere. So yeah, you shouldn't have any trouble logging into it. So as you can see, here goes those grade level subjects. At the top, the South Carolina subjects, people, counties, facts, and glossary. So if you were to go under people, just as I did, and if you were to go under the educators tab, here you'll be able to find some of our women educators that we had here in South Carolina. They do not separate them by the gender, so they're kind of all mixed in together, but as you go through, you'll be able to tell who is who. Um, and so, for example, musicians, um, let me see if I can find her. She may be a little bit down further. Oh, there goes Miss Jones, I'm sorry. Here goes Miss Etta Jones and Eartha Kitt and other um, female musicians or women musicians we had here in South Carolina. So you may have to do a little digging to get to women because they're all mixed in, but overall it's relatively easy to navigate using the different categories that they have listed here. And if I go back, I'll now show you how to get to Newsbank. So if I go to all, so sometimes getting into the newspapers, it's easier to just separate it using the subjects tab. And if you go to newspapers, and then you'll scroll down to the ends, you'll see Newsbank here. So if I click on it, it comes up. So if you were at home doing this, you would run into a screen where you would have to sign in. And you would just enter your library card number and your PIN number. And so here's the home page that you'll see once you log in. Here are those suggested topics that I was telling you about. And here goes the quick links that have different links to get to some of the South Carolina newspapers. So here you'll see the Charleston Post and Courier, the Columbia Record, Historical Archive, and here's that South Carolina tab that I was telling you about, that if you click on it, it will give you a list of all of the South Carolina newspapers that we have access to. And these are organized in the A to Z list. So you'll just have to go through, if you were looking for a F, you would just have to go through the different pages to get to the Fs, but it is organized in a nice way. So you can either keep it organized by A to Z, you can change it from Z to A, you can organize it by the dates, so from the earliest or to the most current. You can organize it by the location, the type, or the format. So very easy to navigate. Um, and it shouldn't be too difficult. I haven't had too many problems, and most of the time when people do have issues, it's just about the initial login, and then they're free to go, and they have no troubles from there. And so if you click on the Peoples tab like I did, this is what it looks like, and it has it separated into different sub-themes or subtopics. So here they have art and entertainment, economists, world leaders, writers, historical political leaders, um, leaders in women's rights, like I showed you, scientists, U.S. Supreme Court justices, civil rights leaders, and business leaders. So it's a very easy to navigate site that has, different overall subjects and then tinier subtopics or subthemes that they have to offer, and they organize articles that fit under that genre or topic or subtopic. So um, that was just a tiny live demo. I hope I did you guys justice. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. So if you guys have any questions or you feel like you're good, you can ask your questions, or if you want me to show you anything else, I can do that now.
No questions. Thank you so much for the training today.
No, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. I hope it was easy to understand and it wasn't too much because sometimes it can be a lot at one time. So once again, hold on, give me 1 second.